All right, we're going to start our speech competition. First person we have up is Alexis Bass. Give us some wild applause for Alexis Bass.
Have you ever looked around a room and realized that no one else looked like you? If you're a girl interested in STEM, chances are you have. In 7th grade, I took a technology class at my school, only to find out on the first day that I was one of 3 girls in a room of 30-plus students. I could see this divide in other elective classes, too. My computers and engineering classes were overwhelmingly male, while my home economics and cooking classes had a lot more girls in them. As we entered high school, more and more classes developed this divide, spreading to even core classes that everybody has to take. Even past school, this divide can be seen in the workforce. According to statistics by the National Girls Collaborative Project, as low as 8% of workers in certain STEM fields are girls, especially in engineering. So why does this divide occur? Why are girls from such a young age allured to domestic and social fields, while boys are more concentrated in science and technologies? The answer lies in the perpetuation of gender norms that dictate what girls and boys can and cannot do. Many people might argue that this divide occurs simply because girls don't want to be in STEM. On the surface, this does appear to be true, but the problem is deeper than that. It's rooted in some conscious norms that members of our society absorb from a very young age. These deeply embedded stereotypes can be brought up by even the simplest of things, such as checking a box for your gender on a standardized test. According to Dr. Carol S. Jack, professor of psychology at Stanford University, these gender norms are so unknowingly accessed, and their subconscious power can impact the confidence of girls so easily that it can actually lower test scores. So how do we solve this problem? Well, already programs have been created to encourage girls' participation in STEM. Clubs like Girls Who Code have spread to high schools across the nation, like my own Patia Valley, to provide safe environments for girls to learn about STEM without discouragement. But clubs alone won't solve the problem. We have to go to the root. We must eliminate negative gender norms in our society to close this divide. Now, I know the creation of these norms isn't anyone's fault. They've been worked into our brains since birth, but this doesn't mean you can't or shouldn't help to solve the problem. The first step is in evaluating your own view of gender. Try to keep an open mind, and if you catch yourself limiting your or somebody else's opportunities based on gender, work to change that. Most importantly, explore your own path. If you have a genuine interest in something, pursue it and work hard at it. And this doesn't apply just to girls. Boys, if you want to do something that's generally labeled as for girls, you should be able to join these things as well. Limiting yourself to certain fields only perpetuates the divide that shouldn't even exist in the first place. Do what you love, and let others do what they love, and together we will finally be able to end the influence of negative gender norms in our society. Thank you.
You guys can do better than that. Wild applause one more time. We're going to move on to our next speech. Up next is Rebecca from Wabansie Valley. Give it up for Rebecca.
Hello. Okay. The color of our skin is not our choice. It's something something that unfortunately many of us have had to come to terms with. I've grown up my whole life knowing and understanding what comes with being Hispanic. The stereotypes, the racist jokes, the "do you speak Mexican?" is nothing but of arm's reach away from my understanding that this is how the world will treat me. Don't be afraid, mija. Don't think too much of them and keep your head held high. Up until maybe my sophomore year of high school, I was ashamed of sharing my ethnicity. I used to lie to my peers about where I was from and whether or not I could actually speak the Spanish language. Why is it that only 2 years ago, I've learned to love my ethnicity? That I am proud to be Latina, that I am a part of a small majority of Latino Americans making more of their lives, that I am getting an education and straying away from these stereotypes. The color of my skin is not my choice, but I am damn proud about who I am, and I would not change that for the world. And I believe that racial bigotry has to be put to a halt. The mass of diversity in the U.S. is changing in vast numbers, and we can no longer be ignored. We must have our voices heard to end racial profiling for all minorities. Children shouldn't be ashamed of their cultures. Our race should not be affiliated with anything concerning achieving success within the classroom. And even more than anything, we must come to terms that we are all made equal. That we are all different in great ways and all important. And none of this should be overshadowed by our race. We need to take a stand to shine through racial bigotry and learn to love, to see with our hearts and not our first impressions. I am not a rapist. I am not affiliated with housekeepers and landscaping. I speak Spanish and not Mexican. I have a voice and an even bigger political voice. And I am human. And the one begging question I have left is, will my president respect me? Thank you.
Up next for our next speech, we have Tony Davila from East Aurora. Tony.
Alright guys, so today I'm going to talk to you guys about pollution over public rivers, more importantly the Fox River and the area surrounding it, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you are from, the Fox Valley. So the Fox Valley, it includes a lot of cities, Aurora, North Aurora, Oswego, Millington, Sheridan, and a ton of more. More than 1 million people live around the Fox Valley. And we all depend on the Fox River because a lot of our drinking water comes from the Fox River. According to Rural Illinois' website, 60% of our water comes from the Fox, and the other 40% comes from wells. But if you guys think about it, 60%, that's more than half of our drinking water that comes from the river. And not just our drinking water, but if you guys go to local restaurants or fresh food markets, they'll get their fish from the river because it's much fresher to get it from the river than to buy it frozen. And that's what I want to talk about more, the fish of the Fox River. So I've been fishing the Fox River for about 9, going to 10 years now. And like to all my fishermen out there, we pretty much agree that there's some species that can be kind of difficult to catch, walleye, pike, and muskie, just to name a few. And the reason is because of how clean the water is. These fish typically are more in cleaner water that don't have that many pollutants in it. So a lot of you might wonder, well, why is this important, right? Well, because Illinois already has a wide variety of fish that live in it. So if we can increase the population of these fish by improving the water quality, that just adds to the already huge list of fish in Illinois. And this will bring in anglers from different states, from all over the world, just to fish Illinois, because if you can catch almost any freshwater fish in the United States and here in Illinois, that's pretty amazing. And these anglers, they have to buy fishing licenses, they have to buy gear, if they have a boat, they have to buy permits, and all that brings in money not just to the state, but to the communities and to the fish and game officers. And also, some of my solutions to keep the Fox River clean, there's 2 of them. If you guys see a piece of trash laying around, pick it up, throw it away, because you don't know when it's going to find its way to your drinking water. And my second reason is, I don't know about you guys, but my high school, we have a graduation requirement of 40 community service hours. And there's a lot of groups, like one that I can think of off the top of my head is called the Friends of the Fox. You guys can join us at Friends of the Fox, get your community service hours, improve your water quality, and just, it's a win-win for everybody. Thank you.
One more time for Tony. All right, we're going to move on to our next speech. Up next, we have Dana Stain from West Aurora. Come on out, Dana.
Yes, girl.
Every day in the United States, 11 teenagers are killed as a result of texting and driving. 11 young adults are lost as a result of a seemingly simple distraction. Texting and driving causes 25% of all car accidents in the United States. 1 in 4 accidents occurred because the driver could not resist the temptation of a simple message. 11 lives are taken every day as a result of by a 100% preventable circumstance. In the United States, 46 states have fully recognized this danger and have created a statewide ban. The other 4 states still recognize the dangers that surround this distraction, as 2 of those states prohibit no bus drivers from using their phones, and the other state restricts school bus drivers from using their cell phone. So even with these laws in place, how is it that 25% of all accidents are still caused by phone usage? As of January 1st, 2014, fines for first offenses were set at $75 in Illinois. A survey conducted by an Illinois attorney's office found that 35% of people know the dangers and consequences of texting and driving, yet they still admit to using their phone regardless. And according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, at any given moment there is 660,000 people attempting to use their phone behind the wheel.
So if you happen to be one of these 660,000 risk takers, let's take a look at the mechanics of the situation. Let's say you're driving at 55 miles per hour and attempting to send a text. On average, it takes 5 seconds to send a text message. So in those 5 seconds, driving at 55 miles per hour, you have covered a distance equivalent to the length of a football field. A lot can happen in those mere 5 seconds. So with all this information, what can we do to make a difference? I propose a simple way to bring down the percentage of accidents caused by texting and driving is to have a stronger first offense consequence, such as a higher minimum fine. Even without a law change, our society as a whole can still make a difference. So the next time you reach for your phone while you're driving, please ask yourself if it's really worth it.
All right, we're going to go to our next speech. Up next, we have Ashley from Mattia Valley. Give it up, Ashley.
Hands up is what they tell me. Don't shoot is what I'm yelling. Now, Chief, please tell your officers to chill. There's more of us than y'all, so this can get real. But if we start shooting back, oh, we shooting to kill. I'm here sharing this topic to let you know how I feel. When Michael Brown was shot to death by a white police officer in Ferguson, Missouri in August 2014, it awakened a movement that began with the previous killing of another black teenager, Trayvon Martin, who was shot in 2012 by a neighborhood watch volunteer, George Zimmerman. This is when the whole Black Lives Matter movement became televised. The killing of Mike Brown stunned the world. No one saw it coming. It was abrupt. But you think, why? Or maybe this was a one-time thing. But no, it was the start of many. April 30th, Dontrell Hamilton. July 13th, Sandra Bland. July 17th, Eric Garner. August 5th, John Crawford. November 13th, Tanisha Anderson. November 22nd, Amir Rice. And the list continues to grow. It's scary to think your once heroes who you looked up to become evil in your eyes. No one should ever be scared to be stopped by a police officer or even to see one, but that's just what the world has come down to. MappingPoliceViolence.org showed that 102 people were killed, some that I previously named, but can you believe only a handful of these officers were charged? Now, I kill somebody, I get 25 to life, but if an officer kills someone, they only get suspended? So while these officers are shooting at us, we just supposed to sit back and take it? No. Protesting, Instagramming, and sharing these stories on Facebook, that's just not enough anymore. Black lives matter, and the world needs to understand. Now, you eat, I eat too. You breathe, I breathe too. Officer, you have a family waiting on you at home, right? Yeah, me too. God didn't place me on this earth to get murdered. Now I put my hands up, but you have to put your gun down and follow the procedure that you know to do. Because I was put on this earth just like you.
Ashley, tell us what's your favorite place in Aurora. We're going to move on to our next speech from Shanard from Wabanzi Valley. Go girl!
Given the state of current events, with so many issues plaguing our country, there is one issue that continues to affect us all as inhabitants of Earth. Through happenstance or some divine intervention, our ancestors were fortunate enough to have spawned in the sole environment capable of supporting life in the known cosmos. And how have we responded to that fortuity? By utterly destroying our home. The Earth is 4.6 billion years old. If you scale that down to 46 years, humans have only been around for about 4 hours. Our Industrial Revolution began a minute ago. Yet in that time, we've managed to decimate more than 50% of the world's forests. This is not sustainability. Now, enacting change doesn't have to be an instant revolution. A nationwide lights out at 10 curfew doesn't have to be the best way to combat light pollution. But there is one way to begin making a difference right here in Chicagoland. Recycling. Yeah, it's a bit stereotypical, I know. But did you know that most of the skyscrapers in the Windy City recycle only paper, and only certain kinds of paper? In most commercial buildings, if you really care about having a blue box in your office, you have to pay for a private firm to put it in and take it out each week. Now this might work for some big businesses, the regional headquarters that take up 8 or 9 floors in a single building, but for everyone else, all their trash, their cans and bottles all going in the trash, as well as their newspapers and magazines, the only material recycled is standard printer paper. If 100 aluminum cans can save enough energy to light a room for 2 weeks, imagine what hundreds of thousands of energy drink cans used to stave off the 3 o'clock sun could do. If they didn't go in the trash, that is. I'm not saying it should be free. People in the suburbs have to pay for trash and recycle pickup too, don't they? It's a service, just like any other, contracted out by the government using citizen tax dollars. But small businesses downtown, they don't even get that option. You know, the people who make up the rest of those 70-floor buildings. Elections just passed, but when my mom went to vote downtown, she told me of almost 10 pages worth of ballots to cast. Yet not anywhere on there was an option to expand recycling programs in commercial buildings, nor have any of the hopeful candidates made it a part of their platform. Rather than slinging around rumors about emails and affairs, people in power should be using their voices to take action, starting right here at home. Don't say you want to help protect the environment. Help create a world in which our environment doesn't need protecting.
One more time. Move on to our next speech. Next up, we have Leslie from Matia Valley. Give it up for Leslie.
How would you feel if after traveling hundreds of miles, risking your life, and leaving everyone behind, you finally made it into a new country with a multitude of promise and opportunities lying ahead of you? How would you feel if you were then forced to leave that country? Thousands of immigrants go through that every single day. Most of them aren't criminals or terrorists. They're just looking for a better life and chose the U.S. to do so. About 13.3% of the total population are immigrants. Don't believe me? Look around. Look around in this class. Look around the hallways. Look around in the school. We are all different. We are all unique. We are diverse. But in order to keep this diversity going on for years to follow, the immigration law should be revised. Theodore Roosevelt once said, "In the first place, we should insist that if an immigrant who comes here in good faith becomes an American and assimilates himself to us, he shall be treated on exact equality with everyone else." Needless to say that this is directed towards the good people who want to come to the U.S. for the so-called American dream. But the immigration laws have gotten stricter and stricter through the years due to a widespread of national tragedies that we as the U.S. refuse to go through ever again. But I don't think it's fair for those who come to America with good intentions to go through as much as they do. Immigrants come to America looking for better opportunities. They're not intending to cause harm to the American people. Not all immigrants are bad. Not all people of color are bad. Not all African Americans are in gangs. Not all Muslims are terrorists. And not all Mexicans are criminals or rapists. And I'm talking to you, Donald Trump. The lovely Donald Trump, who is the president-elect of the United States and who will take place in January. What does he have to say about immigration? Well, according to CNN, Trump would like to overturn a law that grants citizenship to people born in the U.S. and put stricter limits on legal immigration. He would also like to put up a wall on the border of Mexico and the United States. Trump also said that if Mexico refuses to pay, a Trump administration would begin charging additional fees to Mexicans who come to the U.S. on visas. So now my family who come down from Mexico into the U.S. are going to have to pay an extra fee? Like the plane ticket is already expensive enough. Sorry, Trump, not all of us are billionaires. And you may be asking yourself, what do I want you to do? Well, it's easy. In order to get the immigration laws revised, you need to raise your voice and speak up. Show the state representatives you care. Tweet about it or upload pictures on Snapchat or Instagram. with the hashtag #TheDreamIsNow. Or go to our website, thedreamisnow.org. Your voice matters, and it's never too early to start taking action. Somewhere in America, an immigrant family is thanking you for your kind gesture, including mine. This one's for you, Papi. But my advice to you is to never forget who and where you came from. And always be proud of the color of your skin. Because it's like our own personal story. And it takes a well-intellectual individual to ask us for our happily ever after. Thank you.
We're going to move on we have 2 more speeches left. Only 2 more. We've had some great speeches so far. We're going to move on to Jalen from Oswego. Give it up for Jalen.
One second. My name's Jalen. Beep, 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 beep. He's gone. Nothingness and numbness settles in the room. The tense vibe is unbearable. No one says a single word. The only thing you can hear are the sobs of a mother who just lost her son, asking God, begging God, tell me why. He was supposed to go to college and make a difference. He was supposed to be a father. He was supposed to accomplish all his hopes and dreams. He was supposed to buy his lake house by the water that he always talked about as a little kid. And he's gone. Forever. Ladies and gentlemen, how many of you have a mother, a father, a best friend, a significant other? And what if one day they didn't come home? What if it was you in the silent room, where nothingness and numbness settled? This is the sad reality of the many fathers, mothers, and children that are affected by drunk driving accidents. Could you imagine telling a 7-year-old child that his dad didn't come home from work, that he was going on a business trip for a really long time? He's too young to hate the world. He's too young to understand. And he's too young not to be innocent. Lend me your ears and lend me your hearts. I dare to say no more. No more tears, no more broken families, no more silent hospital rooms. Driving under the influence is the big issue. And when we look at issues like this, we tend to look at them as unconquerable feats that only those with red capes and Herculean strength can conquer. Wrong. Everyone has a red cape. Everyone has the strength to look within and help somebody. Let's look at some facts about alcohol-related accidents so we can understand its effect on the world. We can try to make it a better place. In 2013, 1,149 children, 14 and younger, were killed in car crashes. Out of those 1,149, 17%, give or take 200, were occupants of alcohol-impaired driving accidents. Out of those 200, 61% were occupants with drivers who had above 0.08 alcohol level. And 15% were cyclists or kids walking, meaning the kid riding his scooter, his bike, his tricycle, wasn't expecting to turn the corner and not come back home. In 2014, 1.1 million drivers were arrested. And in 2015, 10,265 people died. But the impact is much more than 10,000 and much more than 290,000, which is the amount of people who are injured. Imagine the millions of Christmases, Thanksgivings, and birthdays that were just a little less special because you wanted your mom there. You wanted to show your sister what it was like to graduate with honors. So one day she could do it. But her seat was empty. When you drive under the influence, you not only endanger yourself, you endanger someone else. One night of fun is not worth ruining your life or destroying someone else's. No more. No more. Let's work with law enforcement. Let's work with Uber. Let's work with taxis. Let's work with our local government to pass legislation for bars to have some kind of insurance. In 2015, a piece of legislation in Texas that would require bars to pay some kind of fine if a patron was reported overserved and left the bar and committed a crime was turned down. It never made it past the Senate. We already have fantastic programs in place, like Moms Against Drunk Driving. We have rehab centers for people with alcohol problems. In fact, 1/3 of drivers convicted with 1/3 of drunk drivers are repeat offenders. We can save lives and we can change lives. I've been blessed with a wonderful family, a great mom, and 2 amazing siblings. And I couldn't imagine getting a phone call saying that I had to see them at the emergency room. What did I do to deserve that? What did my dad do to deserve that? And what did you do to deserve that? I urge you to go home and tell your family you love them, and I urge you to help your community in an effort to prevent alcohol-related accidents. Every 2 minutes, somebody is injured, and in 51 minutes, somebody dies. And by the end of my speech, 2 people have gotten hurt, and by the end of this wonderful event, the Mikva Challenge, 5 people's lives will have gone to a better place. Thank you.
We have Kiara coming up next from West Aurora. Give it up.
Alright, so I did my presentation on Black Lives Matter. See, most will hear the saying and feel offended. Some would challenge the saying and question, well, doesn't my life matter? Doesn't all lives matter? See, yes, all lives matter, but Black lives haven't mattered for over 200 years. Some would say we do, but actions speak a whole lot louder than words. Some would say I love Black people music. And some would say my best friend is Black, of course I love Black people. And some would dress up as a Black man or a Black woman and say they love the Black culture. Yet that same son would still say Yet that same son would still say all lives matter, not understanding why Black lives matter. See, African Americans are a target and they are looked down upon each and every day. Everyone wants to be a part of the culture until it's time to fight for the culture. Black Lives Matter isn't a hate movement. The only wish to spread awareness to those who don't understand that they are still living in a segregated country. In the United States, African Americans make up most percentages of prison sin at 37.7%. Yes, it seems small, but it isn't when the Black community only makes up 12 to 13% of the United States. Now, can you imagine how many children are growing up without mommy or daddy? Can you feel the hurt of a child watching one of their parents being buried 6 feet under because their innocent parent was wrongfully accused due to racial discrimination? Yes, I understand slavery was banned, but we've been fighting for respect for over 200 years, and we will continue to fight until Black Lives Matter. Understand segregation is still living, racism is still living. So please don't be undiplomatic or blind to the truth. Understand the struggles of being Black and living in America.
Wild applause one more time. Come on, for everybody. Give it up. Do better than that. Wild applause. Okay. So we are going to start with our 3rd place winner. Our 3rd place winner is Dana Staines from West Aurora. Our 2nd place winner is Jalen from Oswego East. All right, we're going to announce our 1st place winner and our student choice winner. Our 1st place winner, can I get a drum roll? It's Sonar from Wabanzi. Last but not least, Mikva Challenge. We always celebrate youth voice, so student choice gets the same prize as the first place winner. So let's give us drum roll one more time. Our student choice winner. Come on. Is Ashley from Matia Valley. Ashley also scored high enough to get 2nd place, so Ashley's like a double winner. But there's no winners. You guys are all winners today. Give it up one more time for Ashley.